Do you feel like you've been replaced? That someone else has taken your place in her life, and now you're left wondering if you'll ever get back to the way things were? It's a painful, almost unbearable feeling, isn't it? To know that the person who once chose you, who once shared their life with you, has now moved on without you. It's like an invisible weight on your chest, squeezing the air out of you. You ask yourself what went wrong, but asking these questions won't bring you the peace you need. It won't make her regret her decision or help you move forward. You see, dwelling on what was, or feeling like you've lost a piece of yourself, won't change anything. It's time to stop waiting for someone to come back, for things to be fixed, and instead focus on something more important, yourself. When you put your energy into growth, your personal growth, you begin to shift. You become someone not just worth her regret, but someone who can stand strong, independent, and better than before. And that's the key to unlocking the power of real transformation. In these moments of feeling replaced, when your emotions are running wild and your heart is heavy with the weight of rejection, there's a truth you must understand. The world isn't going to stop for you to heal at your own pace. The clock keeps ticking. The days keep moving forward. The question is, will you move with it, or will you stay stuck in the past, forever holding on to what you can't change? She might have replaced you, but that doesn't mean you can't replace the old version of yourself with someone who's stronger, wiser, and more confident. The truth is, when you start putting yourself first, when you focus on improving who you are from the inside out, the transformation you undergo becomes magnetic. You'll become someone who doesn't need her validation. You'll become someone who is no longer defined by the past, by the mistakes or the heartbreaks. The new you will radiate strength and self-assurance, and people, especially her, won't be able to ignore it. And here's the thing. That shift in energy is powerful. The person who was once central to your world will start to feel something shift. She'll wonder, who is this person I see now? But here's the real reward for you. It's not about making her regret it. It's about you coming into your own power. The true victory lies in how you change, how you elevate yourself to a level that attracts only what's best for you. You're not doing this to punish anyone. You're doing it because you're worth it. And when she starts to notice that you're no longer the same person she left behind, that's when the regret will kick in. So stay with me. Because the journey you're about to take isn't just about getting her to regret her decision. It's about creating the best version of yourself, one that no one will ever be able to replace. And that's a version of you that she will always remember. You've been left in the shadow of someone else's choice, but here's the truth. You are not defined by this. You are not the remnants of a past relationship or the person she decided to walk away from. You are a powerful force, capable of shaping your future. The key to your transformation lies in the way you view yourself and your ability to break free from the emotional chains that have held you down. Right now, it may feel like the world has shifted beneath you and everything is uncertain. But in the midst of this pain, a new opportunity is born. You have the chance to become the person you were always meant to be, the version of yourself that no one can replace. She may have moved on, but what you need to understand is that people are always drawn to growth. They're drawn to someone who is evolving, someone who takes control of their life and shapes it with intention. You can feel stuck in the past, grieving what was lost, or you can rise from it and let it fuel your desire to become better, stronger, and more powerful than you've ever been before. It's your choice. And let me remind you, this is not about revenge. This is about you reclaiming your power. When you shift your focus from what you've lost to what you can gain, the transformation you experience is not just visible, it's undeniable. If you want to get her to regret her decision, you need to start by becoming someone who is impossible to ignore. That doesn't mean changing who you are for her, but rather becoming the best version of yourself. When you focus on developing your mind, body, and soul, you naturally become magnetic. People are attracted to growth, to strength, to resilience. You'll start to feel the shift within you, and soon enough, others will see it too. They'll notice that you're no longer the person who was emotionally tethered to the past. You'll become someone who stands tall, someone who carries themselves with a sense of purpose, someone who isn't defined by the decisions of others. The key to your transformation is consistency. It's about showing up for yourself every single day, regardless of how difficult it feels. Each step you take forward, no matter how small, brings you closer to the person you're meant to become. And with each step, the weight of the past lightens. You stop looking back and you start focusing on the present. In doing so, you build a life that is fulfilling, exciting, and driven by your own passions. That life, that version of you, will attract attention in ways you never imagined. You may think that her leaving means the end of something special, but it's not the end of you. In fact, it's just the beginning. As you pour energy into your growth, you'll notice a shift, not just within yourself, but in the way others react to you. She will begin to see the transformation. She'll see a version of you that is stronger, more focused, more confident. And that's when the doubt creeps in, when she starts to wonder if she made a mistake, if she let go of someone extraordinary. And that, my friend, is the moment you'll have proven that the greatest revenge isn't in holding on to the past, but in building a future she will never forget. When she sees the new you, the person who stepped into their power, the person who no longer bends to the weight of the past, she'll feel something shift inside her. She'll wonder how you became the person she thought she had left behind. But the truth is, you didn't leave yourself behind. You simply outgrew the version of you who was stuck, broken, and attached to someone who didn't appreciate your worth. The person she sees now is someone who has learned to thrive, not in spite of the pain, but because of it. You didn't allow your circumstances to define you. Instead, you used them to fuel your transformation. This is what people don't understand. Growth doesn't happen when everything is comfortable. It happens when life tests you, when the world pushes you to your limits. When she walked away, it felt like a punch to the gut, didn't it? It felt like everything you knew, everything you trusted, was suddenly ripped away. But that moment, that hurt, became the catalyst for your rebirth. You've stepped into the fire, and you're emerging from it stronger, sharper, more focused than ever before. The transformation isn't just physical, it's internal. You're evolving into someone who demands respect, not just from others, but from yourself. What happens next is powerful. As you continue to grow, as you continue to take action and improve yourself, the changes become undeniable. You'll start to see new opportunities open up for you. People will begin to treat you differently. They'll recognize the strength and resilience you've cultivated. Your energy will shift. It will radiate confidence and power, and that's the energy that people are drawn to. When she sees you living with purpose, thriving without her, it will make her question everything she thought she knew about you. She'll realize that the man she once knew is now a force to be reckoned with. That realization will weigh on her like an anchor. She'll see that she didn't just walk away from you. She walked away from the most powerful version of you. But here's where it gets interesting. She won't be the only one who sees your transformation. Others will too. Your circle of influence will grow. New people will enter your life. People who are aligned with your new path. People who see your value and encourage your growth. You'll become the person people look up to, the person who inspires others to rise. As you build momentum, you'll notice something incredible happening. You're no longer the person who waits for validation. You've learned to validate yourself. You've learned that your worth doesn't depend on someone else's approval. And when you stop seeking validation, that's when people start to give it to you without even realizing it. She'll notice. She'll begin to feel the regret, not because she's jealous, but because she'll realize that she lost someone who was capable of extraordinary growth. She'll look at you and see the man you've become, and in that moment, she'll regret not seeing it before. She'll regret thinking she could replace you. And that regret will grow stronger every time she sees you thriving, every time she sees you living your life with purpose and passion. She'll realize that what she lost was far more than a relationship. It was an opportunity to be a part of something incredible. And by then, it'll be too late. You may not realize it yet, but this moment, this very feeling of loss and rejection, is the turning point you've been waiting for. This is where the change begins. The pain you feel right now is not a sign of weakness, but a reminder of your strength. It's easy to let the hurt define you, to let it convince you that you're not worthy of something better, that you've been abandoned and left to fend for yourself. But what if this pain is the very thing that will push you into your greatness? What if this is the fuel that will set your soul on fire and ignite the transformation you've been craving? It's easy to get caught in the trap of focusing on the loss, on the empty space left behind by her absence. But the real power lies in shifting your focus inward to what you can control. You can control how you respond to this situation. You can control the direction your life takes from this moment forward. You have the ability to transform your pain into purpose, your heartbreak into strength, and your doubts into unwavering belief. The moment you realize that you are not a victim to your circumstances, but the creator of your own destiny, is the moment your life changes forever. You see, this isn't just about making her regret her decision. It's about you regaining control over your own life. The more you invest in yourself, the more you align with your true potential. Every step you take toward becoming the best version of yourself will not only empower you, but it will also make her take a second look. She will begin to question the choice she made. She will wonder how she could have walked away from someone who is now growing into a force of nature. And that thought, that nagging question, will haunt her. But remember, this isn't about seeking revenge or trying to prove something to her. This is about proving to yourself that you are capable of more. You have everything inside of you to rise above this. You have the strength, the resilience, and the power to create a life that not only makes her regret her decision, but makes you proud of who you've become. The best part? She won't be the only one who notices. You'll begin to attract the kind of people who recognize your worth. You'll draw in those who see your growth and are inspired by your journey. Your life will become a reflection of the effort you put into yourself. It will be filled with new experiences, new opportunities, and new people who value you for who you are now, not who you were. You'll stand taller, you'll speak with more confidence, and you'll carry yourself with a quiet strength that commands respect. The change you make in yourself will reverberate through every area of your life, from your career to your personal relationships, to the way you see the world. When she looks back and sees the man she once knew, she will realize that she didn't just lose a relationship, she lost an opportunity to be a part of something extraordinary. And in that moment, when regret starts to creep in, you'll know that the real victory lies not in her regret, but in the life you've created for yourself, a life that she can never take away. You're not just fighting for your place in her life, you're fighting for your own future, your own potential. Every moment spent looking back is a moment you lose in building the person you are meant to become, the person you want her to see, the person who will leave an undeniable impact on the world around you. It's easy to feel like you've been abandoned, like you've been forgotten. But in reality, what you've experienced is the universe clearing a path for something bigger, something far more significant than the past ever held. It's time to stop holding on to what's gone and start embracing the power of what's coming. Every effort you make to better yourself, every moment you spend improving your body, your mind, your emotional intelligence brings you closer to the life you've always desired. This is your opportunity to transform not just for her, but for you. You are worthy of a life filled with purpose, success, and fulfillment. You deserve to see yourself as a work in progress, a masterpiece that is constantly evolving. This transformation isn't about impressing anyone. It's about becoming so strong, so grounded in who you are, that no one can walk away without feeling the weight of your presence. When you shift your focus from what's missing to what's possible, you open up an entire universe of opportunities. The right people, the right opportunities will start to find their way to you. You'll become magnetic in a way you never imagined. This is the power of transformation. It's not about seeking approval or validation from the past. It's about creating a version of yourself that is so undeniable, so self-assured, that anyone who encounters you will immediately see your worth. And when she sees this, when she sees how far you've come, how much you've grown, regret will be her only companion. She will begin to look at the man she once knew and see someone she can't recognize, someone she no longer has access to. And in that moment, she'll realize what she lost. Not just the version of you who was once hers, but the version of you who is now untouchable. The person who no longer needs validation, the person who no longer lives in the shadow of what was. You will be the person who stands tall on their own, with a life that is rich, fulfilling, and full of purpose. And that version of you will haunt her in the most powerful way. But remember, this isn't about proving something to her. This is about you stepping into your greatness. It's about you becoming the best version of yourself. No longer weighed down by the past, no longer defined by the decisions of others. The best revenge isn't in making her regret her choice. It's in living a life so extraordinary, so filled with success and happiness, that the thought of you will forever be a reminder of the man she could have had. As you grow, as you elevate your life and your energy, the regret will be hers. But the true reward lies in knowing that you built something unshakable, something that is yours and yours alone. The truth is, you can never fully control the actions of others, but you can control how you respond. You have the power to decide whether you let this moment define you or fuel you. And right now, you are standing at the crossroads of a life-changing decision. Will you allow yourself to be consumed by the pain of rejection, or will you rise from it with a new fire inside? The key to your transformation lies in your ability to act. When you stop waiting for someone else to validate your worth, you become unstoppable. The strength you gain in the process will not only make you unrecognizable to her, but it will make you unrecognizable to yourself. Every day, every choice you make now will shape who you are becoming. It's about the small things, the effort you put into yourself, the time you invest in your growth, the boundaries you set, and the energy you pour into your goals. This is the foundation of the life you want to create. It's not just about surviving this pain, it's about thriving in the aftermath. It's about showing the world that you are a force of nature, someone who cannot be broken or sidelined by anything or anyone. You've been through the storm, but now it's time to step into the light. The person who walks away from you, the one who couldn't see your value, will start to feel the weight of their decision. Every day you get stronger. Every step you take toward your goals, every time you rise above the temptation to look back, you become the kind of person who is impossible to forget. And it's not just about her, it's about the life you've created for yourself. You'll realize that this pain, this feeling of loss, is nothing more than the catalyst for the most powerful chapter of your life. When she sees the transformation, when she sees you becoming someone who no longer needs to prove their worth to anyone, it will hit her like a wave. The regret will set in, and she'll realize that she didn't just let go of a relationship, she let go of a person who was capable of becoming extraordinary. And that realization will sting, because she'll understand that the version of you she walked away from was the one who needed growth, the version of you she could have had, the one who is now unshakable, driven, and filled with purpose, was always within reach. But she chose to let it go. You don't need her validation to be great. You don't need her approval to rise. What you need is to believe in yourself. You need to trust in your journey, in your ability to heal, grow, and evolve. And as you continue to grow stronger, as you continue to build your life, you'll start to notice something powerful happening. You stop caring about the past. You stop needing to prove anything to anyone. And that's when the real magic happens. You become someone who doesn't just attract attention, you attract the right kind of attention, the kind that will never fade. The regret she feels won't be because of some petty revenge, but because she'll realize she let go of something rare, something she can never replace. And that will be the moment when you'll know you've truly won. Not because of what she's lost, but because of what you found within yourself. The real victory lies in knowing that you were always enough, and that the best version of you was waiting to rise all along. There comes a moment in every person's life when they realize that the only way to truly move forward is to let go of the past. And for you, that moment is now. The pain, the hurt, the rejection, those feelings can no longer define who you are. They are simply stepping stones to your growth, markers along the path to a stronger, more confident version of yourself. Every time you resist the urge to look back, every time you refuse to allow the past to control your future, you gain power. And that power is yours to wield, to shape, to mold into the life you've always dreamed of. You might still feel like you're carrying a weight, like the shadows of the past are still lurking in the corners of your mind. But as you continue to focus on your growth, as you continue to step into your purpose, that weight will grow lighter. Each small action you take to improve yourself, whether it's working on your mental toughness, your physical health, or your emotional strength, gives you more clarity. It gives you more space to breathe and, ultimately, to thrive. It's in this process that you'll realize something profound. You are your own greatest asset. You are the one who holds the key to your happiness, your peace, your success, and no one, not even her, can take that from you. The more you invest in yourself, the less room you'll have for the regrets of the past. Every day that you choose to rise above the hurt, every moment you focus on becoming better than you were yesterday, you begin to build a life that is rich with meaning. This life, this version of you, will not be ignored. The woman who once walked away will see it. She will see the strength, the self-assurance, the peace that radiates from someone who has reclaimed their power. And as she watches you rise, as she sees you living your life without needing her validation, the regret will begin to settle in. But this isn't about her. It never was. This is about you and the incredible person you are becoming. As you continue to grow, the fear, the doubt, the insecurities that once held you back will fall away. You'll realize that you are worthy of all the success, love, and fulfillment that life has to offer. You'll see that you are capable of creating a life that is rich with purpose and passion. And when you realize that, when you truly know it in your heart, you will stop looking for approval from anyone. You won't need her to see your worth because you'll already know your own value. The most powerful version of yourself is waiting to emerge. The only thing holding you back is the decision to stop letting the past control your narrative. You are not the sum of your past mistakes or the choices of others. You are the sum of every decision you make today. Every step you take to become better, stronger, and more resilient. And as you continue on this journey, you'll see that the life you're building is far greater than anything you left behind. You'll be free from the weight of regret, free from the shadows of the past, and free to live the life you were always meant to live. When she looks back, she won't be able to ignore the man you've become. And in that moment, you'll realize that the greatest revenge isn't in making her regret it. It's in living a life that she could never have imagined. And that, my friend, will be the ultimate victory. The power to change your life doesn't lie in anyone else's hands. It lies within you. It always has. You've spent so much time wondering why things happened the way they did, questioning your worth, doubting your value. But all of that was just a distraction. The truth is, you are more than the sum of your past experiences. You are more than the pain you've carried and the heartbreak you've endured. You are an evolving force, capable of creating a future so powerful that those who once doubted you won't be able to help but notice. When you stop seeking validation from others, you tap into a well of untapped power within yourself. It's the power to build a life that's beyond anything you imagined, a life that is entirely your own. The more you invest in yourself, the more you focus on what truly matters to you, the more you begin to see yourself for who you truly are. And that person, the one who is committed, focused, and relentlessly determined, will begin to rise. This is the version of you that will not be forgotten. This is the version that will make her look back and wonder how she could have ever let you go. But this process is not about making her regret her choice. It's about you recognizing your worth, about you discovering the power within yourself to create a life so fulfilling, so rich with purpose, that you no longer need her to see your value. You'll begin to understand that the people who choose to stay, the people who choose to be a part of your journey, will recognize your worth in a way that no one ever could before. The woman who once walked away will see a version of you that is stronger, more resilient, more focused. And in that realization, the regret will hit her hard. This shift isn't easy. It requires commitment. It requires a willingness to move forward, no matter how heavy the past feels. But you are stronger than you know. And as you continue to grow, as you continue to embrace the challenges that come with transformation, you'll find that the pain begins to fade. The feelings of rejection and hurt will lose their grip on you, and you'll step into a space of self-respect, confidence, and self-worth. The moment you realize that your value isn't dependent on someone else's perception of you, that's when everything changes. The more you invest in yourself, the less space there is for negativity, for doubt, for regret. You stop seeing yourself through the lens of what you've lost and start seeing yourself as someone who is constantly evolving, constantly rising to new heights. And that version of you, the version that is confident, grounded, and fully aware of their worth, becomes a force to be reckoned with. The regret she feels won't come from her missing you. It will come from her missing the person you've become. When she sees you stepping into your power, living a life filled with purpose, she'll realize that the man she once knew has been replaced by someone even greater. That realization will hit her hard, but by then you'll have moved on and you'll no longer need anyone's approval. The victory won't lie in her regret, but in the fact that you've created a life so fulfilling, so rich with meaning, that nothing and no one can take it away. As you continue down this path of transformation, it will become clear that the key to true freedom lies in your ability to let go. Let go of the past, let go of the fear of rejection, and let go of the need for validation from anyone, especially her. This is your life, your journey, and you are the one who gets to decide what it looks like from here on out. The more you focus on cultivating your own happiness, your own success, the more you become the version of yourself that cannot be ignored. The mistake people make is thinking that their worth is tied to someone else's approval, someone else's love, someone else's opinion. But the truth is, your worth has always been inside of you, waiting to be unlocked. The more you focus on nurturing that power within, the less you'll care about what anyone else thinks. The people who are meant to be in your life will recognize your value. The people who can't see it will fade into the background, and that's okay. You are not here to chase approval, to beg for affection. You are here to live the best life you possibly can, and that starts with you. Every action you take to better yourself, whether it's working on your mental clarity, your physical health, or your emotional resilience, is a victory. Each step you take toward creating the life you desire builds the foundation of a future so powerful that nothing from the past can touch it. You're not just moving on from the past, you are evolving into someone who is unstoppable, someone who has control over their own destiny. And with that control comes the undeniable sense of peace and purpose that radiates outward, drawing in people who recognize your strength and admire your transformation. And when she sees this, when she sees you stepping into your power, living a life filled with purpose and fulfillment, regret will begin to creep in. She'll realize that the person she walked away from isn't the person standing before her now. She'll recognize that the strength, the self-assurance, the independence you've built cannot be replaced. And as she watches you live your life on your terms, the regret will hit her harder than she could have ever imagined. But here's the thing. This regret is not for you to control. It's not your responsibility to make her feel anything. Your responsibility is to yourself. Your responsibility is to continue evolving, to continue building the life you deserve, to continue being the best version of yourself. The more you step into that power, the more you will realize that you don't need her approval, or anyone's approval for that matter. You are enough. And as you continue to rise, as you continue to focus on your goals and your growth, you will become someone who is impossible to ignore. The victory doesn't lie in the regret she feels. It lies in the life you've built for yourself. A life filled with meaning, with purpose, with passion. The best revenge isn't in making her wish she'd stayed. It's in living a life that no one can take from you. A life where your self-worth is solid, unshakable, and unstoppable. And when you look back, you'll see that the greatest reward was never her regret. It was the transformation that allowed you to live the life you were always meant to live. You've reached a point where you can no longer afford to let the past dictate your future. Every day you spend dwelling on what could have been is a day you lose in the pursuit of who you are becoming. The person who walks away from you, the person who once held a place in your life, no longer holds that power. That power is yours, and it has always been. The moment you decide to stop letting the past control your thoughts, your actions, and your emotions, you unlock the door to a future where you are the creator of your own destiny. The most incredible thing about transformation is that it doesn't require anyone's approval. It doesn't need validation from the outside world, and it certainly doesn't need someone else to recognize your worth. The only validation you need is the belief you have in yourself, the trust you place in your own potential. This is what creates real change. The moment you begin to believe that you are capable of more, that you are worthy of more, you will become unstoppable. The past will no longer be something that defines you. It will simply be something you've grown from. You may have once believed that your happiness was tied to another person, but now you are beginning to see the truth. Your happiness is not dependent on anyone else. It's not tied to anyone's opinion, anyone's approval, or anyone's love. Your happiness comes from within. It comes from the choices you make every single day to better yourself, to evolve, and to pursue your goals with relentless passion. When you make that commitment to yourself, when you stop waiting for someone else to give you permission to be happy, that's when the real transformation begins. As you continue to grow, as you continue to step into your power, you'll begin to see just how much potential you truly have. The strength that you've been building both mentally and emotionally will begin to shine through in every area of your life. You'll notice the shift in the way you carry yourself, in the way you speak, in the way you approach challenges. This isn't just about impressing anyone, it's about impressing yourself. It's about proving to yourself that you are more than capable of handling whatever life throws your way. You'll become the person who no longer needs anyone's approval because you will already know your worth. And when she sees you living this life, when she sees the transformation that's taken place within you, regret will begin to set in. But this regret won't be because of something you've done. It will be because of the person you've become. She will realize that the person who once stood before her has evolved into something unrecognizable, something so strong, so self-assured, so fulfilled that she can't help but feel the weight of her decision. And that's when you'll know your greatest triumph wasn't in getting her to regret it. It was in living a life so powerful, so fulfilling, that you no longer needed anyone's approval to be whole. Your victory lies in the life you are creating, the life you are designing for yourself on your own terms. And that life, that future, is far greater than anything the past could ever offer. Keep moving forward, keep evolving, keep rising, because in doing so, You are becoming the person you were always meant to be. And that, my friend, is a victory no one can ever take from you. It's not enough to just move forward. You must move forward with intention. Every step you take from here must be focused on the future you are building, not the past that no longer serves you. The key to unlocking your full potential lies in the way you approach each new day. You are the architect of your own life, and every decision you make can either propel you toward greatness or hold you back. The choice is yours, and it always has been. You have the power to shape the man you are becoming, to design a life that fills you with pride and fulfillment. The more you commit to this journey, the more you will begin to see the fruits of your labor. Because true transformation is not an overnight event. It's a gradual process, built on the foundation of consistent action and unwavering belief in yourself. When you begin to show up for yourself every single day, when you stop looking for external validation and start recognizing your own worth, you become a force of nature. It's not about proving anything to anyone else. It's about proving to yourself that you are capable of greatness, that you can rise above any challenge, and that you can live a life that reflects your true potential. Every moment you invest in your personal growth, every small victory you achieve, is a victory over the past, a victory over the doubts and insecurities that once held you back. And as you build momentum, as you continue to make decisions that align with your highest self, you will start to see that the world responds to your energy. Opportunities, people, and experiences that were once out of reach will begin to gravitate toward you. Not because you're chasing them, but because you are finally becoming the person who is worthy of them. She will see the transformation. She will see the man you have become, the man who is no longer broken, no longer dependent on anyone's approval, the man who has taken control of his life, his emotions, and his future. And as she watches you, as she sees you thriving, she'll feel something inside her stir. It won't be just regret. It will be the realization that she let go of someone capable of extraordinary growth, someone who is now living a life she could never have imagined. That regret will settle in because she will understand too late that you were never meant to be the person who would fade away. You were always meant to rise. But this isn't about making her regret it. This is about making you proud of the life you are creating. Every time you choose to focus on your growth, every time you make a choice that serves your highest good, you are building the kind of life that no one can take away. The kind of life that makes you unshakable, unstoppable, and undeniable. The more you commit to this path, the more you will realize that you don't need anyone's approval to be powerful. You don't need her to see your worth. You already know it. As you continue to grow, as you continue to evolve into the best version of yourself, the life you are building will become a testament to your strength, your resilience, and your unwavering belief in who you are. The world will see it, and most importantly, you will see it. And that is the ultimate victory. When you look at yourself and know that you have become the person you were always meant to be, that's when you'll know that nothing and no one can ever take away your peace, your power, or your purpose. There is a power that comes from knowing you are in control of your own destiny. And once you truly understand that, everything changes. The world becomes your canvas, and you are the artist. Every choice you make, every decision you take, is a stroke that defines who you are becoming. The pain of the past, the moments of doubt, the insecurities that once held you back, they no longer have any grip on you. You've grown beyond them. You are the sum of the actions you take today, not the mistakes you've made in the past. It's easy to look back and wonder, what if? It's easy to let those questions eat at you, to let them distract you from what's ahead. But the truth is, those what-ifs only serve to hold you in place, to stop you from moving forward. The moment you let go of the past and stop measuring your future based on someone else's choices, you free yourself to build the life you deserve. The future is yours to shape, and it begins right now with the choices you make today. You are not defined by what she chose. You are defined by your ability to rise, to move beyond the circumstances, to transform yourself into someone who refuses to settle for anything less than greatness. The key to your freedom is in your hands, and it has always been. It's in your ability to decide that today is the day you begin to build the life you've always wanted. Not a life based on regret, but a life driven by purpose, fueled by your passions, and aligned with your highest self. Every single day, you have the power to redefine who you are. You don't need anyone's approval to take charge of your life, to set new goals, to create the future you want. This journey is not about impressing others, it's about impressing yourself. It's about showing yourself what you are capable of when you stop letting fear control your decisions. It's about waking up every morning and choosing to show up for yourself, even when it's hard, even when it feels like the weight of the world is pressing down on you. Because every time you choose to rise above, every time you choose to move forward, you gain strength. The transformation that's happening within you is undeniable. It's not something that anyone can take away, and certainly not someone who once walked away from you. She'll see the change, she'll feel it, and it will make her wonder how she could have ever walked away from someone who is now standing tall in their power, walking with purpose and confidence. But by then it won't matter. What matters is that you've finally realized your worth. What matters is that you no longer seek validation from anyone because you know you're enough. You've always been enough. As you continue to focus on your growth, as you keep working on becoming the best version of yourself, the life you're building will be undeniable. You will no longer need to prove anything to anyone because your life, your success, your happiness will speak for itself. And when she looks back, when she sees you thriving, she'll know that the version of you she walked away from was only a fraction of the incredible person you are becoming. And in that moment, you'll realize that your power was never in her decision to leave. Your power has always been in your ability to rise, to rebuild, and to transform into someone who can never be ignored. The moment you stop waiting for someone to give you permission to be great, that's when everything shifts. You've spent so much time looking for validation, seeking approval, and trying to make sense of why things went the way they did. But what if I told you that none of it matters anymore? The only thing that matters is what you do now. The only thing that matters is the power you have within yourself to create something bigger, something more fulfilling, something that no one can take from you. This is where the true transformation begins. The moment you decide that your life, your future, is no longer tied to someone else's choices or actions. You have everything you need to create the life you deserve, but it starts with a decision to no longer let the past dictate your present, a decision to step into your own power and take control of your future. It doesn't matter what anyone else thinks, it doesn't matter what they may feel. All that matters is that you are here, you are alive, and you have the ability to rise. The pain you've endured, the rejection you've faced, none of it is permanent unless you allow it to be. The key to your freedom is in your hands, and when you take that key and unlock the door to your own potential, you will be unstoppable. The truth is, every time you choose to focus on what you can control, your actions, your mindset, your growth, you gain momentum. The more you invest in yourself, the more you realize that your worth is not determined by anyone else's decision. It's determined by the effort you put into yourself. The way you rise after each setback, the way you continue to push forward even when the world seems to be against you, that's what defines you. And that's what will make you unshakable. She may look at you and see someone she thought she knew, but she will no longer recognize the person standing before her. You are becoming someone so powerful, so centered in your own purpose, that nothing in the world can stand in your way. Your growth, your transformation is not something you need to seek approval for. It's not something that anyone else needs to understand. What matters is that you are on a path of evolution that is unique to you. Every day you are becoming someone stronger, someone more confident, someone who will never be defined by the choices or actions of others. The man you are becoming is someone who commands respect, someone who no longer seeks validation from the outside world. And when she sees this, when she sees the change, the regret will be undeniable. But that regret will not be yours to dwell on. You've already moved on. You've already stepped into your greatness, and nothing or no one can take that from you. The victory was never in her regret. It was in your ability to see your own worth, to rise above, and to create a life so extraordinary that you no longer need anyone's approval to feel complete. You finally realize that the only person you need to impress is yourself. And once you make that shift, everything changes. Your life will be filled with the people, the experiences, and the success that align with the person you are becoming. You will walk with purpose, and you will no longer need to look back. The past will simply be a lesson, not a weight, and in that freedom, you will find your true power. You are not the mistakes of your past, nor the failures you've experienced. You are the choices you make right now, the actions you take today, and the strength you draw from within yourself. The moment you stop defining yourself by the things you've lost or the people who couldn't see your value, you begin to tap into a power you've always had, but may not have realized until now. It's the power to shape your own destiny, the power to live a life that is fulfilling and full of purpose. You don't need anyone's permission to be great. You don't need anyone's approval to rise. You have the ability to create the life you've always dreamed of, and that life begins with the decision to invest in yourself, to put yourself first, and to believe in your own worth. When you truly understand that your value comes from within, when you stop looking for validation from others, that's when you become unstoppable. The strength you've been building within yourself doesn't need to be recognized by anyone but you. The people who are meant to be in your life, the people who will truly appreciate you for who you are, will see your worth without you having to prove it. And the people who didn't recognize it, they will eventually realize they let go of something priceless. But by then, it won't matter. Because you will have moved on, evolved into someone who is unrecognizable to the person you once were. And that transformation, that power, will become the foundation of a life so extraordinary that you won't even have to look back to see how far you've come. Every single day you wake up is another chance to choose to be the best version of yourself. It's another chance to show up for yourself, to put in the work, to push through the pain, and to continue moving forward. And every time you do, you will become stronger. You will become more focused. You will become someone who no longer waits for others to give you permission to succeed. You will start attracting the life you've always dreamed of, not by seeking it, but by becoming the person who is deserving of it. The more you invest in your own growth, the more you will realize that everything you need to succeed is already within you. All it takes is the willingness to rise and take action. And when she sees the life you've built, when she sees the man you've become, it won't just be regret she feels. It will be the realization that she lost someone who was always capable of greatness. She'll look at you and see the strength you've developed, the confidence you now exude, and the life you've created without her. And she'll wish, with everything inside her, that she had recognized your worth before it was too late. But here's the truth. Your greatness was never about her, and it never will be. It's about you. It's about living a life that is authentic, fulfilling, and unstoppable, regardless of what anyone else thinks or feels. The power you have to transform your life has always been inside you. It was never in someone else's hands, and it will never be. The moment you realize this, you will start living a life that is a testament to your strength, resilience, and unwavering belief in your own potential. You will stop looking for approval because you will know that you are more than enough, exactly as you are. And that is when you will truly begin to live. The greatest shift in your life happens when you finally realize that you are your own greatest ally. No one else can walk this path for you. No one else can carry the weight of your dreams or your purpose. That responsibility lies with you, and that's where your power begins. For so long, you may have looked to others to fill a void, to validate your worth, to confirm your strength. But the truth is, none of that was ever necessary. All the validation you need is right inside of you. The moment you accept this, when you stop relying on external sources for your sense of self, you will unlock a level of confidence and clarity that will propel you forward in ways you never thought possible. The shift happens when you make the choice to stop questioning your value, to stop wondering if you're good enough, and to start believing, truly believing, that you are enough exactly as you are. Your worth has always been inherent. You are never lacking. And the more you focus on what you can control, your thoughts, your actions, your mindset, the more you begin to see that you are the master of your own destiny. It's not about waiting for someone to come along and tell you that you've arrived. It's about recognizing that you are already where you need to be. Everything you need to succeed, to build the life you've always wanted, is already inside of you. It always has been. The work you do on yourself, the decisions you make every single day, are the foundation of a future that will be unrecognizable to those who once doubted you. Every small step you take to become the best version of yourself, whether it's focusing on your health, sharpening your mind, or strengthening your spirit, matters. It matters because each of those steps brings you closer to the person you were always meant to become. And the more you embrace this process, the more you will realize that the life you are building is far greater than anything the past could ever offer. There's a power in embracing your own journey, in recognizing that this is your story to write. The more you take responsibility for your own growth, the more you realize that no one else has the ability to determine your future but you. You are in the driver's seat, and the road ahead is yours to navigate. The more you stop looking back at what was lost, the more you can focus on what is yet to come. The freedom you'll experience when you let go of the need for anyone else's approval is unmatched. It's the freedom to be unapologetically yourself, to pursue your dreams without hesitation, to show up every day as the person you are becoming. And when she sees the transformation, when she sees the power you've gained from within, it won't just be regret she feels. It will be the realization that she let go of someone capable of greatness, someone who now stands in their own power, confident in their journey, and unapologetically moving toward a future that she could never have imagined. The truth is, you don't need her to see your worth. You already know it. And that knowledge will carry you forward into a life that is yours to create, yours to shape, and yours to own. The greatest victory is not in what she feels, it's in what you've become, and that in itself is enough. Every moment you spend doubting yourself is a moment you lose in creating the life you deserve. The power to shape your future, to design the life you've always imagined, lies within you, and it always has. The people who come and go, the situations that have caused you pain, none of them have the power to dictate your worth. The moment you realize this, when you stop measuring your value against the opinions of others, you free yourself to step into your true power. You stop waiting for someone else to tell you who you are and start recognizing with absolute certainty that you are the only one who has the right to define your worth. The beauty of this transformation is that it's not reliant on anyone's approval. It's about taking ownership of your life and your choices. The strength you've been looking for hasn't been outside of you, waiting to be given. It's been inside you, waiting to be unleashed. The moment you embrace this, everything changes. You stop relying on external validation to feel worthy, and instead, you draw strength from the knowledge that you are already enough. You don't need her to regret losing you. The person you've become is beyond what anyone else could ever have imagined, and it's because you've learned to stop seeking approval. You've learned to look inward for validation, to recognize your own power, to acknowledge the greatness that exists within you. When you begin to operate from this place of self-belief, the world around you starts to change. People who align with your energy will begin to show up, and those who can't see your worth will fade into the background. And that's exactly how it should be. You no longer need to convince anyone of your value. You know your worth, and that's all that matters. The greatest gift you can give yourself is the freedom to live unapologetically. When you no longer live for the approval of others, when you stop holding yourself to the standards set by someone else, you begin to rise. You begin to realize that every setback, every hardship was merely a lesson preparing you for the power you were always destined to wield. With each step forward, you become more confident, more resilient, and more aware of the immense strength you've been building. And when she sees you standing in your power, when she sees the transformation that has taken place within you, it won't just be regret she feels. It will be the crushing realization that she let go of someone capable of living a life beyond her wildest dreams. She'll see a person who is no longer looking to the past, but who is fully engaged in the present moment, focused on creating a future that no one can take away. And as she watches you rise, she'll know that the person who left isn't the same person who stands before her now. The truth is, though, by then it won't matter. You've moved on, evolved into someone unrecognizable to the person who once doubted you, and that's the greatest victory of all. You don't need her to regret it. You don't need anyone to regret anything. The only thing that matters is that you have found your power, you have found your worth, and you are living a life that is completely unapologetically yours. And when you look back, you'll realize that the only person you ever needed approval from was yourself. You finally found the freedom to live for you, and that is a victory no one can ever take from you. The most powerful thing you can do for yourself is to stop waiting for someone else to acknowledge your greatness. You don't need anyone to tell you that you're capable of more. You already know it. You don't need validation from those who once doubted you or walked away. The moment you realize that your worth doesn't depend on others, you unlock an inner strength that no one can take from you. You begin to see that you've always had everything you need to create the life you want. And the best part? You don't need anyone else's permission to start. The real power is in your ability to take control of your own journey. This isn't about proving anything to anyone. It's about proving to yourself that you can rise above your circumstances, that you can build a life of fulfillment, that you can create a future that aligns with your highest potential. The more you believe in yourself, the more you will recognize the immense power within you. And once you step into that power, there's nothing in this world that can stop you. The strength to transform your life is within your reach. Every moment you spend doubting your ability is a moment you lose in creating the life you deserve. The past is gone, and it has no hold over you unless you allow it. You are not defined by the mistakes you've made or the people who couldn't see your worth. You are defined by the actions you take today, by the decisions you make in this very moment to become the best version of yourself. And that version of you is someone who will not settle for anything less than greatness.